It's time now for County-Wide, a presentation of Yavapai Broadcasting News. You'll hear about the interesting issues and happenings that affect all our lives. Here's today's County-Wide.
Well, good day and welcome to the program. It is County-Wide. I'm Brad Miller, and we're real happy to welcome into the studio today Officer Ashley Campbell with the Cottonwood Police, and Officer Campbell and Milo were recently profiled. A real nice article in the Verde Independent, and I saw that, and I said, Ashley Campbell, we got to get you into this program. So good morning, and thank you for coming by.
Good morning.
And Milo's with you. Is Milo going to say anything on this program?
No, he's pretty quiet.
Milo's chill, and that's part of the reason that he's got the job that he has. I'm a dog lover, and I just think it's so interesting when we see them become service animals and helping whomever it is, older folks at the retirement home, folks in the hospital, and in your case, helping with the students at Mountain View Prep.
Correct.
Talk to me a little bit about that. Now, we'll start with yourself, and then we'll expand into Milo and his role. You're a school resource officer. Am I saying that right?
That is correct. I'm a school resource officer that is working currently under a grant this year. So I'll be in the classroom teaching kids at Mountain View Preparatory. Super excited about that, and excited to bring Milo into the mix as well. This will be his second year. We started midway through the year last year with him. I had several other schools. So, right. He's excited. He likes to come to work every day. Yeah, he's
ready to snooze right now.
Yeah.
But I want to read something. I thought they did a real nice article in the paper, and they just kind of describe Milo's making a connection with a student on that always kind of nerve-wracking first day of school.
Yes.
And Milo just did what dogs do for all of us, just kind of very kind of quietly became part of that student's reality in a scary moment, maybe first day of school, especially if you're in kindergarten. And they just kind of connected, and Milo helped that young'un settle down and kind of be able to go about his or her day. And that's Milo's job, right?
That is Milo's job. And it all started with an article that I had read regarding canines being paired with school resource officers to help with those unsettling moments and kids who have trauma and the things that they experience and, the social anxiety that comes along with that, meeting their peers and whatnot.
Right.
And having a canine paired with a school resource officer, the research is showing that it creates that open dialogue between the officer with that canine being the distraction,
right.
Because kids naturally will just kind of soothe their mind and be more comfortable in the moment to help them relax so that they can feel comfortable where they're at and know that they're safe.
Yeah. We find that pets, dogs particularly, I know a lot of different animals are used in these kinds of scenarios in different ways. But it just seems like even if you don't have a dog at home, that there's just a simple connection that they can make. There's no judgment. There's all of those things that we all love as dog owners, that little kids, even if they don't have a dog in their life at home or prior, instantly becomes apparent to them. And that unlocks a lot of things. For them to be able to explain if there's trouble at home or something in the schoolroom that happened, and that's kind of key to Milo's mission.
It is. Milo's got a big job to feel. He really enjoys the kids. He provides a lot of support right now to kindergarten. There's a couple kiddos in there that are having a hard time coming to school. This is their first year. Maybe they've never been in a big group like this.
So much.
They have a hard time leaving their parents. And quite often this year already, Milo has been called to come to kindergarten to kind of help with those moments. And sometimes it's just as simple as us. I lay on the floor with the kids in the hallway just outside the classroom, the way the classroom is structured and set up. And the kid lays on the floor with Milo, and we slowly work our way into the classroom and try to get those kids used to just coming to school every day. And not being anxious and scared.
Right.
And it's pretty incredible, the amount of work that Milo takes off of me because I really don't have to do much. They pay attention to him and that's fine. If that's what it takes, the distraction it takes to get them in the classroom, then I've done my job today.
Well, and it allows you kind of a different perspective to kind of observe
Absolutely.
maybe that child will say something where it can mean maybe there's a bigger problem that we really need to kind of investigate a little bit more, or simply it's just nerves and jitters and first days and things like that. Could you, for our listeners, just real quick, Milo is a mixed breed.
He is. He's
just so cool.
He is. He was a rescue. Kind of an interesting story. The story that I got from Sedona Humane Society was he was located in Flagstaff, roaming the streets, and he got picked up, of course, and put in puppy jail, what I call puppy jail. And he ended up in Sedona. And I was at PetSmart one day getting some pet supplies, and he was there. He is approximately 4 years old, and he is a Heeler Aussie mix from what we believe, based off of his coat. He's brown, white, speckled. Yeah. He's got a really neat undercoat, and he, ever since I got him as a puppy, he was only 6 months old. He has had the same temperament. He's just been really chill. He doesn't get excited. He's just real calm all the time. Yes, he has his moments where he likes to run circles really fast. That's how he gets his exercise.
That's the Aussie.
That's the Aussie in him. He just takes off and runs, and then he's done. But he knows how to. He would rather be calm than be hyper. That's just kind of his personality.
It sounds like the way you're describing him is you kind of had him for a while in your life, recognized those traits. Did it click that, hey, this could be the guy to put on the job?
Exactly. And with most dogs and specific breeds, as most people know, is dogs like horses like to be worked. Mm-hmm. So, and putting them in a position where they are being worked, they're actually happier. They're healthier. Okay. And so when I started learning about him over the couple years that we had him, and then read that article and put all these things together, I was like, I believe I have an animal that could potentially do some good, and help out. So we started the training. I already knew that he was well around children. I have my own children at home. Uh-huh. We socialized him a lot with other animals, so we already had that. So it was a pretty simple milestone for him and I to bond and to get the training that he needed. And he's been doing great.
Now, when we talk about training, clearly it's going to be a lot different than other dogs, that we see that are in police service, the canines that help the patrol deputies, say, or the drug sniffers and all of that. Yes. It's going to be a whole different ball game. Is it more or less, and who kind of makes the determination? You had a strong hunch and you were clearly correct, but it seems like somewhere there's got to be somebody who has some real experience training dogs for a lifetime that can say this guy is going to make it, or for some reason maybe he would be trained to do something else. But it all worked out the way you would hope. So,
yeah, absolutely. So what happens is if with Alliance of Therapy Dogs, this is the program that I went through, they paired me up with a certified trainer, and that certified trainer met Milo for the first time, and they pick the place that we meet. Okay. And they pick it based on to figure out what their demeanor is going to be like under certain situations.
Okay.
So we met. Yes, it was a test. Just to see, and that was the first step, right? To see how he was going to react to other people walking by, other dogs. So we went to a heavily populated place in Prescott where there was lots of dogs and lots of people walking, and that kind of set the milestone of, okay, is Milo suitable for the position? And is he able to complete all the things that he needs to complete to be certified?
Right.
And that's where it started.
Okay. From that day until he was ready to join you at school and working with the kids was how long?
So it was a pretty, I was on top of it. It was a pretty quick process. Within 6 months, I had him fully certified. And that goes with, he had to get, make sure all of his updated shots and everything were taken care of, which they already were. But the Alliance of Therapy Dog requires him to have extra stuff every year, just to make sure he's staying healthy. Okay, sure. And so between all that, vet visits and training, approximately 6 months to get it all done.
Okay. And that kind of training, again, just to reiterate for our listeners, that excludes where we've seen the demonstrations with the dogs taking down the perpetrator and stuff. Milo was not trained to do that. Mm-mm. Yeah. No. It's a whole different kind of ball game.
It's a whole different type of ball game. Those dogs go through a very extensive training. It's completely different. It's nothing Like the only thing that's somewhat similar is your basic commands: sit, stay.
Yeah, like at home,
right? And it's but even in that case, it's different. They speak different languages and things like that. Milo it's English commands.
Yeah.
He already had some of those down because he's a family pet.
Sure.
So yeah, it was great.
He's on the ball, and now he's on the job.
Absolutely.
All right. We need to take a short break. Fascinating stuff. I just love this. Service animals come in and do so many different things. And we've got one at Mountain View Preparatory School at Officer Ashley Campbell and Milo. We'll be back on Countywide right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Lewis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back to Countywide. I'm Brad Miller, and Officer Ashley Campbell is here with Milo, Resource Officer, Mountain View Prep, and that makes Milo Canine Resource Officer, doesn't it?
Sure.
He gets that title. You were describing for me before we opened the mics, and I'd like to have you share with our listeners that Milo is kind of with you on a leash at large, like on the playground at recess time and outdoor activity at times like this. But so start there. How does that work? And then I want to go into when Milo becomes very specifically involved with one student, maybe who's having a tough day or a troubled time. But he's just kind of there, and the kids know he's there, and they can kind of come to him.
They do. It also, in the morning time, our routine is he comes into the school, and sometimes I have to help with traffic at MVP. So I usually try to keep him in the office. He gets enough attention and stuff to do all day long. That's his rest time, just kind of get settled. And on campus, he roams with me on leash, in and out of classrooms. If I go by a classroom and I see they're kind of up having, open discussion, sometimes I'll pop in because kids just like to see that. Yeah. I try not to do it too much, just so because he can be a big distraction as well.
Yeah, right.
Sure,
I can see
he's
that
a dog.
So
I try to, but mostly when they're out on the playground and the free time and during lunchtime is when the kids really, that's their opportunity to, hang out with Milo.
Right.
He does a little bit of, I will allow kids, they kind of like group up around him and pet him, and he lays down, and I will drop the leash and whatever and kind of step away. And I use some of those moments as training moments because I still need him to be distractible to me. It's very, very important that when I need him, I need him at that instant. Right. And then he knows that I'm in charge. So those are just part of the constant ongoing training that we do. He's every day that he's at school, we do a little bit of training. When the kids are not out on the playground, him and I are out there roaming around. He likes to sniff around. He needs his time and his decompression time as well in order to be successful. Just like we get our lunch breaks every day, right?
Right.
And so those are his times to kind of decompress as well out on the playground.
And it's just Mountain View.
It's just Mountain View.
So that's his campus.
That's his campus. That's his campus. So it's also very important, just like any dog, they love to sniff, and he's a male dog. So he likes to know what his territory is like. So in the morning time, sometimes as well, I like to get out on the playground when there's no one out there and let him get all of his smells out, because sometimes he just wants to just smell around and he's like kind of distracted in that moment.
I once had a trainer say that for the dog running around the park or wherever the campus is you're describing, it's doing that sniffing is like you or I reading the morning paper.
Yes.
We're getting all the news. Here's everything I need to know for my day.
Yeah.
And so you got to kind of let them do it. It puts them in a comfortable place.
Yeah.
Has there ever been, now this is really kind of new, and with 5 or 10 years experience, there will be so much that you and Milo learn together. But has there ever been a time where Milo has, in however this works out, really identified a youngster who's maybe there's a real problem at home that mom and dad either don't know about, or something that's going to be a little more significant than just a quick chat? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I've had some instances where kids really did not want to communicate with me at all. Mm-hmm. When I brought Milo on board middle of last year, I started noticing some of those kids that were distant from me kind of started drawing a little closer to me.
There you go.
And it wasn't because of me. It's because of Milo. Sure. Right. And so I let that natural, attraction be there. And those kids started opening up to me. Mm-hmm. And I started kind of understanding why their behaviors were like they were on campus, distant from me.
Right.
And they told me a little bit about their history and about what's going on and how, some days they don't have very good days on campus. They don't have very good days at all. Right. Sometimes what's great about having Milo and what I've been learning is that, breaking that moment of silence to get a conversation started. It always starts with, well, I have a dog at home or I have a cat at home. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, tell me more about that. And now we've actually just started simple conversation, which is sometimes very difficult for any child, because in their eyes, I'm a stranger.
A lot of people have troubles and they just cannot express them.
Absolutely.
And Milo almost literally is like a key opening a door.
He is. So it's very interesting. And that's what a lot of that article that I read that started this brainstorming of an idea of having, a canine, is that maybe this could help kids, because kids are really struggling right now with social anxiety and stuff since COVID. And the separation from parents is difficult for them.
Right.
And you just the normal peer conflict is difficult as well. And I'm finding that with Milo on board, that's really calming those moments. I have some big plans for him as far as bringing some of those peers together with using a canine. Yeah. And we'll see how that all goes.
It would make sense to me to see a canine on every campus.
Yeah,
across the country. We talked kind of about him being at large at recess or playtime or whatever it is, outdoor activity time. The description you just gave of a kid opening up. Will it occur, I suppose it will, that a teacher will call you and say, hey, I've got a youngster who things started fine in the class and there's a problem. She's crying, or that kind of thing. So you're kind of, in a sense, on call that way too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, and that happens a lot where sometimes, and I use them as an incentive too. So like kids not, completing tasks, or, sometimes parents will call me and say, hey, so-and-so, I had a little girl last year, I'll just give you an example. She just was struggling at home and mom was struggling with her. And she came to me and had a talk with me. And I said, do you mind if I speak with your daughter, after you leave? I'll bring her into the office and we'll just chit chat.
Right.
And so we came up with a deal. I said, if you do what you're told in the morning at home to get to school, I'll let you walk Milo to class every day that I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. And I said, there may not be mornings that I'm here, but when I'm here, and and it was like 360 degrees. Like mom called me 2 days later and she was like, what did you say to my daughter? And I said, I just told her she could walk the dog to class if she brushed her hair in the morning.
And that's
and that was as simple as that.
Yeah. Well, it's such a great illustration of how you partner with the parents. Mm-hmm. as well. I mean, that is something that just may not have happened. It sounds I don't mean it to sound cold to call Milo a tool, but it seems to me he is one of, if not the most valuable tool that you have as a school resource officer.
He is. He kind of makes my job a little easier when it comes to that dialogue. You know, it's like getting kids to just do something by giving them a little bit of an incentive, you know, just like when teachers call, like you asked, and said, hey, can you come into the classroom? So-and-so's having a hard day. I'll walk Milo with me. You know, Milo's trained if I have to have him stay in a certain position, then he stays in a certain position at that time. Yeah. But normally it's just, hey, here, I need you to come to my office and I want you to walk the dog. He needs to walk, and then we're going to decompress and we're going to go sit down in my office for a little bit. Yeah. And they're usually okay with that.
Yeah. That's just how it works.
So it's just how it works.
That's great stuff. I just love it. All right, we need to take just a short break. We'll come back and kind of wrap up. Officer Ashley Campbell, a Mountain View Preparatory School Resource Officer, and Milo, the four-legged officer. Countywide is back right after this.
Life changes, then it changes again. Predicting the unexpected in life is impossible. That's why it's called unexpected. So when it comes to financial goals, our philosophy is don't predict, prepare. Hi, I'm Edward Jones financial advisor Matthias Sandoval. A job loss, change in health, or a loss of a loved one can have a big impact on your family's financial security. Let's work together to help make sure you're equipped for life's unexpected events. Call our office to schedule a face-to-face appointment.
Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Verde Solaire, your hometown heating, air conditioning, and plumbing company in the Verde Valley, and your trusted North Central Arizona Goodman dealer. Goodman is a name you can trust with the revolutionary Comfort Bridge technology, factory installed into select Goodman gas furnaces and air handlers to ensure the entire system operates at peak energy efficient performance. Verde Solaire offers free in-home estimates, locally owned and operated since 1983. Visit them at verdesolaire.com. Better, cleaner, faster.
Hi, this is Lewis Rice with Rice Accounting, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, with a very sincere thank you for your continued business over the last 20 years. All of us at Jackson Hewitt Tax Service are very honored for the many community awards we've been given over the years. As always, we are open year-round, providing services for taxes, payroll, and bookkeeping. Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, located throughout northern Arizona, can help you with all your tax and accounting needs. For our nearest location, call 800-234-1040.
Let's talk. That's the message from Jonna Randall Murdoch, your local Farm Bureau agent, providing a personal touch when making insurance and financial decisions. Jonna will simplify your insurance needs while offering competitive pricing. Let's talk auto, home, life, and farm. Call Jonna at Farm Bureau today at 928-649-8686. Your Cottonwood Farm Bureau property and casualty insurance company. At Farm Bureau, they insure more than just farms.
We welcome you back. Our final piece of Countywide for today, Officer Ashley Campbell, Cottonwood PD at Mountain View Preparatory School, and she, as a resource officer, works with Milo, 4-year-old, four-legged buddy who he's just laying here, man, and he is just chilling right out. I want to lay on the floor with him and take a nap. Is there ever a concern? I suppose not all children have dogs at home or pets of any kind. And littler ones, even 5-6-year-olds, kindergarten or whatnot, might not understand that you don't tug on a ear or pull a tail. Or is Milo, has he been trained?
He has been. So that's
that kind of thing?
That's a part of his checkoff to be certified, is he has to be put through like those stress tests of seeing if he's able to tolerate his ears being pulled or his snout being petted really hard or, kids grabbing.
Right.
For whatever reason, kids love to grab his nub because he's got because of his breed, he doesn't have a tail.
The tail thing.
And that's a big question I get from kids. Why does Milo not have a tail? And I say, well, because he lays down a lot in the classroom and you might step on it, just make up something silly. But I do tell him the history of it. But, and his paws being touched. Those are big, some dogs don't tolerate.
A lot of dogs don't like that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that's part of his checkoff, and he has to be able to tolerate those things. Also, the biggest point, because I know that's a big concern for people who may not have dogs at home or may have had a tragic event of a dog biting a child and causing scars and whatnot. But Milo, he's super calm. When he is in a big group of kids and he walks away, and like I said, he's always on leash, right? And the leash is a little long, 4 feet or whatever. I know that that's the time where he's like, I just want to decompress a little bit.
Right.
He never gets aggressive. He never shows his teeth, nothing like that. And it's just crazy how he tolerates it. Because sometimes I think, I don't know if I could tolerate that many kids
any
around
teacher,
me.
any parent knows that sometimes you just got to say,
yes,
don't walk away. So why wouldn't that be true for him?
Yes, exactly. And
Sure.
I make sure that Milo is very exhausted when he comes home from work every day.
Sure.
There are days when he will go into the bedroom and separate himself and just sleep. And I know that he's taken in a lot today.
Yeah.
He senses a lot of emotions.
Sure.
And he's naturally attracted to those. He will walk up to a kid and lick the tips of their fingers when he knows they're crying to distract them from
Right.
that, to try to get them to calm down.
Right.
And so he takes a lot of that in, which can be very exhausting.
Oh, you bet.
So yeah, he's doing great.
He's a good boy. I just love him. He just kind of laying here chilling out while we're doing the chat. Well, Ashley Campbell, this is terrific. If there's a parent especially, but anyone in the audience who maybe has a question for you about this program or other things relating to the service animals programs at large, how can they get a hold of you? What's the best way to?
Yeah, the best way would be to reach out to just call our dispatch.
Okay.
And they will they'll send me an email with your contact information, and I'll reach out to you.
Okay. So
if it's something urgent or whatever, they have ways to reach out to me immediately.
Okay.
Because
dispatch number is what? Not 911.
Yes, no, just
the
call
dispatch number.
Just call the non-emergency number, and I'll give that to you. It's going to be 928-649-1397.
Okay. Sounds terrific. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you and Milo crossed paths. You brought a wonderful new service to Mountain View Preparatory School. The kids are going to love it. Already are, and it's a valuable service. So we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you. Officer Ashley Campbell, Cottonwood Police, Mountain View Preparatory School, and the silent but enigmatic and really interesting Milo taking a nap right here in the studio with us. It's Countywide. We'll see you next time.
This has been Countywide. Listen in each Tuesday and Thursday at this time. If you have a topic or guest idea that you'd like to suggest, email us, news@myradioplace.com.